Hollywood, as much as I rooted for him, and I'm one of the few people who said he was gonna pass 1,000 yards this year, you know, I also had to accept the fact that this year solidified the fact that Hollywood should not be a number 1 or a number 2. He's better off a number 3, and he would be a dangerous number 3. But he's not gonna be worth that type of money. And of course, a lot of Ravens fans, as soon as those contract talks come up, that's when they'll finally admit that, oh, he's not worth that money and he should take less. But guess what? He's not going to want less. He's going to want the going rate. He's going to want 20 million, 23 million, 25 million. He's going to want that type of money. And guess what? Even if they don't come to a contract agreement, what, you guys want him to franchise tag them? When they franchise tag players, they got to pay them the average of the top 5 players in that position. If, like I just said, the going rate at this point going forward for receivers is going to be plus 20 million, that means that even if they franchise tag him, they're going to end up having to pay him plus 20 million. So whether it's through a franchise tag or whether it's through a new contract agreement, are you guys ready or comfortable with giving Hollywood Brown 25 million when you could have been giving Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, or AJ Brown 25 million? Are you guys comfortable with that? Does that make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me, but I want to know, does it make sense to you? Do you guys want to pay James Prochet or Devin Duvernay, you know, more or less 15 million a year? That's not even the going rate, but are you guys willing to pay them that? What if in the near future they want new contracts where they want to get paid? They're not going to ask for the going rate of like 20 plus million, but they're going to ask for 12 million, 13 million, 15, 16, 17 million. Are you guys, since for all you people who think that these receivers are better than what they are you guys prepared to pay James Prochet and Devin Duvernay that type of money? Of course not. Of course not. The second any news comes out that they're asking for that type of money, then Ravens fans will finally admit that they're not that good. But guess what? You doing that, and it just wastes a bunch of time because they were never that good in the first place. You're better off going out and getting the elite talent. That way, when it's time to pay them, it's worth the money. Deebo Samuel is worth the money. DK Metcalf is worth the money. AJ Brown is worth the money. Tyreek Hill would have been worth the money. Devontae Adams would have been worth the money. I don't know if Odell even signed yet, but assuming Odell's surgery went well, hey, look, Odell's still worth the money. Jarvis Landry, I don't think he's like the best receiver out there out of this crop I just listed, but he's still, in my opinion, better than what's on the Ravens right now. He would be worth close to that money. Even if you gave him right at the bare minimum of like 18 to 20, yeah, he would probably still be worth that money compared to everybody on the Ravens right now. So again, Ravens fans need to get over themselves when it comes to trying to deny Lamar Jackson weapons on offense. Because they talk all day like, yeah, the offensive line is not good. The receivers, they could be better. But then when it's time to talk about going out and getting them, you have all these dumbass excuses. These are just dumb excuses. Dumb excuses about how you can't pay people. But you just tried to offer Bobby Wagner a 15 or $20 million contract they tried to offer him? A linebacker who you don't need, who you really shouldn't need, I should say, because you just drafted Patrick Queen, a draft pick that could have been T. Higgins, but instead you chose Patrick Queen, a guy who Ravens fans have completely switched sides on and don't want anymore. You were willing to pay him that. See, nobody talks about how overpriced some of these defensive players are when it's time to talk about bringing them to the Ravens. Zadarius Smith wasn't going to be worth the money they were about to pay him. Bobby Wagner is a very good player, but he wasn't gonna be worth the money they were gonna pay him. But nobody had a problem with that. See, like, a lot of these players like Bobby Wagner and Zadarius Smith and whoever else that Ravens fans want to talk about signing on the defense, they wouldn't be used properly in the Ravens defensive scheme. Blitz, blitz, blitz. They wouldn't be used right. They wouldn't be used to their strengths. But you guys still desperately want them. You guys still thirst after them. But yet, when it's time to talk about anything related to offense, all of a sudden, everybody, let me not say everybody, but 90% of Ravens fans are going through these mental gymnastics to try to convince themselves that it wouldn't be a good idea, when it clearly is. So I'm going to say it one more time. If you guys are not willing to pay Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, etc., if you're not willing to pay them $20 to $25 million a year, are you ready to pay Hollywood $25 million next year? Think about that, because that's what he's going to want.